Sustainable cities, how to change the world for the better. Hello, my name is Saini, and today I'm going to show you why sustainable cities are going to be the next biggest thing in the future. So what is a sustainable city? Well, a sustainable city is often referred to as an eco-friendly city, is one that uses renewable energy sources to help people with daily tasks and have as little as an impact on the environment as possible. So characteristics of a sustainable city include skilled workforces, a variety of transportation options, varied land issues, residential development, and with all these advantages, they still have open green spaces for all types of activities. In addition to this, sustainable cities are able to produce safer, higher voltage electricity for, using renewable resources, while also having quick current electrical power as well. Finally, eco-friendly towns may help the local population while simultaneously protecting the environment and ecosystems. So our next part is why might some cities be struggling with sustainability while others are thriving? So the main difference between a sustainable city and a city that is not sustainable is through man-made decisions. What I mean by this is that through the process of creating the city, using urban planning and proper city management is extremely important, because cities that do not use this usually tend up to be non-sustainable and using a lot of non-renewable energies to for their whole factories and all sorts of things like that. So characteristics for struggling cities would include environmental degradation, traffic congestion, inadequate urban infrastructure, lack of basic infrastructure, lack of water supply, improper waste management, and overpopulation, which essentially means taxing the government, or taxing the city services. Now, a prime example of non-sustainable city would be Gateway Hill, located in northern Alberta. Now, the reason this is an unsustainable city is because Alberta has the most oil in all of Canada. And big companies use this to their advantage to mine out all the oil in Alberta, in Gateway Hill. And the problem with this is that these sand mines that they created impacted a lot of food webs, food chains, and living organisms in the area, and created a place that is so horrible. If you want to come closer, you can see that this picture is originally how it looked, and now you can see that there's so many oil mines and sand mines here, and it looks like it's a place that's so dead. Additionally, here you can see a picture of the soil in the area, and the soil contained a lot of oil. But again, companies use this to their advantage and extracted all the oil from the soil, and now it's completely dead and it's unusable for plants. What are some factors that contribute to the environmental footprint of a city? But before, we need to know what environmental footprint means. The environmental footprint is the value of supporting one human on Earth. To put that in perspective, a resident in Canada and the United States would use about 8.1 global hectares, which is 20 soccer fields full of natural resources used in a lifetime. Now, obviously, this is a really bad thing. So what we gotta do is we gotta use steps and considerations to creating a positive ecological footprint. For starters, we can do carpooling. Carpooling is a great way to release fewer emissions while also using most space in cars. Plus, carpooling is fun. In addition, using solar panels are a great method because they are able to harness energy for electricity. Silicon from the panels is a great conductor and can generate lots of electrons from sun rays. Non-renewable energy, or in addition to this, solar panels require extremely less non-renewable resources to make, which is a reason why most buildings in sustainable cities use solar panels. Moving on, non-sustainable cities tend to have bad dumping systems, with immense amounts of trash, bad cleaning services, and water bodies filled with dumps of trash. This can result in bad air and water pollution. Finally, reusing, reducing, and recycling is extremely important because, as we know, they're able to conserve natural resources, we're able to lessen greenhouse gas emissions, and so many other things. What type of energy positively contributes to a sustainable city? Now, we've been talking about renewable energy a lot, but let's go over the four main ones that contribute to sustainable cities. We have solar, wind, geothermal, and hydroelectricity. For starting off, solar energy is sunlight when sunlight is converted into heat and electricity. And you can see the diagram is right here. Next, we have wind energy. Wind is clean, renewable energy harnessed from the wind using mechanical power. If you come closer, you can see this is a diagram where the turbine goes to a battery and then from a power line to the house. Moving on, we have geothermal. Geothermal is a clean, renewable resource produced deep in the earth that can be harnessed for heat and electricity. Here is the diagram for it. And finally, we have hydroelectricity. It's electricity generated from harnessing hydropower through moving water. And we can see this diagram, that's a dam, and it goes through the whole system and to the power line, which then provides electricity. How might the efficient transfer of electricity have a positive impact on the environment and the ecosystems within it? So, aside from the carbon cycle, the emissions of carbon dioxide will significantly affect the biosphere, lithosphere, atmosphere, and hydrosphere. But that's not a positive thing. However, because natural resources don't usually emit a lot of greenhouse gas emissions, the efficient transferring of electricity can reduce the number of fumes and fossil fuels generated, which allows for many ecosystems to strive. Renewable energy uses natural occurrences to generate electricity, which tends to not make a difference to the land. Because of this, food chains and food webs and essentially all the living organisms in the ecosystem don't have to adapt and change location. So we talked about the ecosystem and the environment, but now let's talk about residents in the area. Sustainable cities provide residents with a safe environment, clean and green, to live their lives. Sustainable cities contain parks, walking trails, and recreational centers, which can improve mental, physical, and spiritual health. For example, the more recreational centers which have green contain trails for better physical health. These centers can be utilized by all people and encourage them to stay proactive. Sustainable cities tend to have utilities near them, allowing for easy and reliable access. For example, in the sustainable city, the hospitals, the walking trails, the parks, they're all extremely close. Whereas in rural areas, they would be pretty far and it would take a long time to get to your destination. Finally, there's a lot more efficient transportation. Less traffic congestion and better air quality in these areas will improve someone's mental health and spiritual health. We talked about ecology and electricity, but let's talk about chemistry and space exploration. How might sustainable cities promote the influence on living outside the Earth? Sustainable cities have stated to solve many problems in cities, such as overcrowding, the use of extreme amounts of natural resources, and mental and physical health. To further reduce population density, something that sustainable cities achieve, possibly looking at other planets in space and implementing the characteristics of sustainable cities will possibly make the chance of people wanting to move to different places outside of Earth. Moreover, when looking at places outside of Earth, we may come across element resources that could be impactful later on. The amount of unconfirmed information about the planet is very vast, and there could potentially be elements and/or compounds that are undiscovered and could be a significant conductor of renewable energy, leading to further sustainability. A prime example of this is the Deep Space Gateway. Why I say it's a great example is because they use a lot of renewable energy to create that product, or to create that thing, and it's able to efficiently maintain longevity. In addition to this, they were able to find helium-3, an efficient trace element that was found while looking around the moon. Now, if we come over here, I would love to show you guys this video on a person in Dubai who shows what sustainable cities is. But the video is 15 minutes, so I'll give you a brief rundown on what the video is. So this video is from 5 years ago, showing how advanced a city like Dubai was. Dubai is a very, very sustainable city, which uses their natural resources efficiently. The tourist in this video also gives detailed information while driving through the streets of central Dubai. Now, we're going to talk about the top 5 most sustainable cities around the world. Now, we know that Dubai is very sustainable, but it's actually not part of the first 5. Starting with number 5, we have Canberra in Australia. And number 4, we have Madrid in Spain. Number 3, we have Copenhagen in Denmark. And you can see in this picture that Copenhagen is actually so diverse that they barely use any cars. And they use more bikes and more walking trails. Number 2, we have Zurich in Switzerland. And in #1 place, we have Wellington, New Zealand. Wellington, New Zealand is so advanced, and it's said that 75% of the city is actually greenery and infrastructure that has plants or living organisms in it. Wellington, New Zealand is what all cities aspire to be like in the future. Here we have my works cited information, and all the embedded citations are in the links, are in the information. And that's all, everybody. So what do you think? Do you think sustainable cities will be the next future? Personally, I do. Sustainable cities.